Welcome to Magic Buddy Toons, where stories shine like sunny balloons. From baby giggles to grandpa's grin. Animals and people, let's dive in. Learn and laugh and tales come true. All the fun begins with you.
The Golden Crown of Unity. In a faraway land beyond rolling hills and silver rivers stood a grand castle. Within its towering walls lived King Alaric and Queen Selena, rulers known not for their wealth, but for the love they shared with their people. King Alaric was noble and strong, a protector of his land. Yet it was Queen Selena's gentle wisdom and kind heart that made the kingdom bloom with peace and joy. Their people adored them deeply. They listened to the voices of nobles in fine robes and farmers with worn hands, treating each soul with equal respect. But one stormy night, thunder rolled like the roar of a giant. A hooded messenger rode swiftly to the castle gates, his horse soaked by the pouring rain. In the throne room, where torches flickered against stone walls, the messenger knelt. His voice trembled as he delivered grave news of danger. A neighboring kingdom, restless and bitter, was preparing for war. Their armies gathered in secret, and soon they would march upon the land of Alaric and Selena. At first, silence filled the hall, heavy as the storm outside. Then Queen Selena rose, her calm voice breaking the fear. "If we meet hatred with kindness," she said, "perhaps peace may bloom." King Alaric looked at her with pride. Though battle was in his blood, he knew her wisdom was true, and together they chose a path of courage and love. They ordered a crown of pure gold to be forged, not as a weapon, but as a gift of peace, each jewel chosen to shine with hope. The people heard of their plan and joined them eagerly. Villagers and nobles alike walked beside their rulers, carrying banners, stitched with symbols of unity. As the journey began, the nights were long and cold, but spirits were lifted by the warmth of the queen's words. Around campfires, they shared bread, laughter, and stories of old. Children gathered close to Queen Selena by the fire. One asked, in a trembling voice, "Will there really be no war?" She smiled gently, brushing the child's hair, and promised, "Not if love leads the way." Days turned into weeks, and finally the company reached the tall iron gates of the rival kingdom. The wind howled, carrying with it the weight of destiny. Upon the stone steps stood the rival king, cloaked in shadow. His eyes were sharp as steel, and behind him stood rows of silent soldiers. Without fear, Queen Selena stepped forward. In her hands, she carried the golden crown, glowing like the sun breaking through clouds. The rival king's eyes widened. Never before had he seen such humility from those he once called enemies. Slowly, his hand reached forward. He touched the crown, and in that moment, his heart, long hardened by bitterness, began to soften. The crowd gasped, holding their breath, and then cheers erupted. What was meant to be a battlefield became a place of celebration. Instead of war drums, there was music. Instead of cries of fear, there was laughter and joy as villagers and soldiers danced together in the open square. Children played games under strings of glowing lanterns. Farmers, nobles, and knights dined side by side at long wooden tables filled with food. For the first time in many generations, two kingdoms that once stood apart now dreamed as one. Old walls of hatred began to crumble. King Alaric raised a golden goblet high and declared, "To unity stronger than fear, and to peace greater than power." The crowd erupted in cheers once more. The rival king, who had not smiled in many years, laughed with joy. He bent down to greet the children, and they tugged at his robe with playful hands. Later, as the festival quieted, Queen Selena looked to the stars. She whispered, "Peace is the greatest crown of all," her voice soft as a lullaby. Night sky glittered brighter than ever, as if the heavens themselves blessed their choice. Lanterns floated upward, joining the stars in harmony. Songs of joy carried across the hills and echoed through valleys, reaching even the farthest corners of the land. Hope was reborn. From that day on, their kingdoms stood not as rivals, but as one great family. Their story became a lesson for all who listened. And so their tale was remembered for generations as the golden crown of unity. Parents told it to children, and children grew to tell it again. King Alaric and Queen Selena proved to the world that kindness is stronger than fear, and love more, powerful than any sword. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more magical stories that bring peace, joy, and wonder to life.